Today we're exploring some of the top 5 ancient places in Utah that are easy to visit but packed with mystery, beauty, and history. These are ancient Native American sites that many Utahns don't even know exist. But each site reveals a different piece of Utah's ancient story. So let's explore. We'll start in the far southeast corner of the state near the Four Corners area. You'll find a quiet mesa dotted with mysterious stone towers. This is Hovenweep National Monument, one of the most remarkable ancient sites in Utah. I've been there before and it's incredible, especially if you have kids. It's a nice, fun hike where you park, hike a medium loop trail, and along the way you'll see towers that have stood more than 800 years. These were built by the ancestral Puebloans, a culture that emerged around 8500 from early basket maker peoples. Over time, they created cities across the Four Corners region like Mesa Verde and Sego Canyon, and here at Hovenweep. This whole area at and around Hovenweep had scattered populations in the hundreds and maybe the thousands. The towers might have been celestial observations, defensive structures, storage facilities, homes, or some combination of all of these. But by the 1300s, severe droughts and likely conflict caused many to migrate south, joining the larger Puebloan peoples of what are now New Mexico and Arizona. So that's an ancient Puebloan site, but let's get into the mysterious ancient Fremont peoples. From the mesas of the south, we head north to 9 Mile Canyon, a winding valley stretching nearly 40 miles through the Book Cliffs. It's been called the world's longest art gallery, and for good reason. The canyon walls hold more than 10,000 petroglyphs, most carved by the Fremont people between about 8300 and 1300. So the Fremont lived across central and northern Utah and a bit beyond. They're famous for their rock art of trapezoid-shaped people, horned figures, and herds of animals. The Fremont were hunters and gatherers who also farmed. They built small villages, stored grain in stone granaries tucked into the cliffs, and carved haunting scenes of their lives into the canyon walls. The most famous panel in 9 Mile Canyon, the Great Hunt or Hunter panel, is a sprawling masterpiece likely more than 1,000 years old. No one knows exactly what it means, maybe a record of an event, a ceremonial story, hunting guidelines, or a spiritual prayer. You can drive the entire route on a maintained graveled road, and every turn reveals something new. So 9 Mile Canyon may have a lot of rock art and granaries, but this next place may be one of the largest villages by the ancient Fremont. Now we move west into the heart of Utah, Fremont Indian State Park. Most people fly past it without realizing they're driving over one of Utah's greatest archaeological discoveries. In 1983, highway crews blasting through Clear Creek Canyon uncovered something extraordinary, a buried Fremont village sealed beneath centuries of earth. Unfortunately, part of the site was destroyed, but much of it was preserved with a new state park. The Fremont lived here between about 8700 and 1250, with populations estimated in the hundreds. They grew corn, beans, and squash, and made distinctive gray pottery and small clay figurines, possibly representing family members or spiritual figures. Inside the visitor center, you can see many of these artifacts and even step inside a reconstructed pit house. Outside, paved trails lead past real petroglyphs carved into the canyon walls. One of them has rock art of handprints. The Fremont left behind a ton of mysterious and haunting rock art, but this next location is probably the most striking site that mixes not just Fremont, but older and newer cultures as well. Now heading southeast toward Moab, right beside the road, a massive sandstone wall completely covered in carvings, newspaper rock. More than 650 petroglyphs cover its surface with spirals, animals, human figures, and mysterious symbols, each one etched over in the last 2,000 years. We don't know if they were stories, prayers, or messages for the spirit world, but standing before it, the rock feels alive, as if it's still speaking. The earliest carvings could be 2,000 years old, made by archaic period hunter-gatherers long before the Fremont or Puebloans. Later, the Fremont and ancestral Puebloans added their own designs, and by the 1700s, Utes and others carved horses and riders after the arrival of the Spanish and their animals in the region. For many Native American communities, Newspaper Rock is still a sacred site, a reminder that their stories never ended. And it's one of the easiest ancient sites to visit here in Utah, right off the highway, just a few steps from your car. Now, if the ancient Fremont weren't mysterious enough, this next place is from a culture older than the Fremont and much more haunting. Our last stop brings us back near the interstate, about half an hour east of Green River. Follow a paved and then dirt road for a few miles, and you'll reach Sego Canyon, where the cliffs are alive with these haunting, otherworldly images. This canyon preserves art from several cultures that lived here over the last thousands of years, but it's especially famous for one of my favorite traditions, what archaeologists call the Barrier Canyon style. These archaic hunter-gatherers lived here roughly from 2000 BC to 80, 1000, long before the Fremont or Puebloans. Their paintings, tall ghost-like figures with hollow eyes and flowing shapes in red and white pigment, are among the oldest and most striking in North America. Centuries later, the Fremont people would carve smaller figures nearby, and around the 1700s, the Ute tribe engraved horses and warriors over the earlier images, showing how long this canyon remained a place of art. No one truly knows what the older figures meant. Some researchers think they depict visions seen by spiritual leaders, messengers between the spirit world and the physical. But whatever their meaning, the images in the canyon still speak today. I've been there before, but I didn't realize its significance. So I'm planning to revisit Sego Canyon for an upcoming travel video. We've already covered Buckhorn Wash, and I promised I'd make it to Sego Canyon next, so subscribe if you want to see that journey. Eventually, I'll get to the most famous site, Horseshoe Canyon, but I didn't include that site in this video because it's pretty hard to reach, but it's worth an entire video of its own. So there you have it, 5 ancient places that are easy to reach, yet filled with mystery. Let me know in the comments what place you'd like me to explore next. Check out these videos here where I go to a Barrier Canyon style site, or this video explaining who the ancient Fremont people were. Thanks for watching. Keep exploring.